My grandmother left me her vintage ring collection worth $150,000. My cousin demanded I give her the rings for her wedding because she's actually getting married and I'm still single. When I refused, she tried to steal them. 15 years of being my grandmother's companion while my cousin never visited, then she expected me to hand over a $150,000 inheritance because she wanted vintage rings for her bridesmaids. My name is Charlotte Hayes. I'm 31 years old. 5 years ago, my grandmother passed away and left me her collection of vintage rings. 24 rings. Some from the 1800s. Estate sale finds. Inherited pieces. Each one with a story. Each one carefully curated over decades. Professionally appraised at $150,000. But the monetary value wasn't what mattered. These rings represented 15 years of my relationship with my grandmother. Every Saturday we spent together. Every estate sale we attended. Every story she told me about each piece. I was her companion. Her antique hunting partner. The grandchild who actually showed up. My cousin Brittany never visited. Not once in the final 10 years of our grandmother's life. Too busy. Too far away. Always had an excuse. When Grandma died, her will was clear. The ring collection goes to Charlotte. Brittany was angry. Said it wasn't fair. That the collection should be split. But she didn't fight it then. She waited. 3 months after the funeral, Brittany got engaged. Started planning an elaborate vintage-themed wedding. And suddenly, she needed those rings. Called me with a demand, not a request. I need Grandma's rings for my wedding. Each of my 8 bridesmaids will receive a vintage ring as their gift. It's perfect for my theme. You have to give them to me. I said no. And Brittany declared war. Turned the entire family against me. Called me selfish. Jealous. Bitter. Said I was hoarding jewelry I'd never use because I wasn't even engaged. When the manipulation didn't work, she escalated. Broke into my house. Stole 3 of the most valuable rings. $60,000 worth. I called the police. Pressed charges. She was arrested. And my family blamed me. You ruined her life over jewelry. She's getting married. She made a mistake. You should have just dropped it. I didn't drop it. I testified. She was convicted. Got probation and had to pay restitution. The family hasn't forgiven me. 5 years later, they still think I'm the villain. This is the story of inheriting something precious and being expected to hand it over to someone who never earned it. I grew up in Charleston, South Carolina. Old Southern family. Not wealthy, but established. My grandmother, Margaret Hayes, was a force of nature. Elegant. Sharp. Fiercely independent. She lived alone in the family home downtown. A historic Charleston single house. 3 stories. Built in 1860. Grandma loved antiques. Especially jewelry. Specifically rings. She collected them for 50 years. Estate sales. Antique shows. Auctions. Online dealers. She had a gift for finding treasures. Spotting quality. Knowing history. Her collection was legendary in the Charleston antique community. I have one cousin. Brittany Foster. 3 years younger than me. She's 28 now. I'm 31. Brittany and I were never close. Different personalities. Different interests. She was the social one. Cheerleader. Sorority girl. Always surrounded by friends. I was the quiet one. Bookish. Artistic. Preferred small gatherings to parties. Growing up, our grandmother tried to include both of us. Birthday celebrations. Holiday dinners. Family events. Brittany would come. Be polite for an hour. Then leave. Had somewhere better to be. I would stay. Talk with Grandma. Look at her collections. Listen to her stories. When I was 16, Grandma invited me to go antiquing with her. Charlotte, there's an estate sale Saturday morning. Beautiful Victorian pieces. Want to come? I'd love to. That Saturday morning changed everything. We drove to an old plantation house an hour outside Charleston. The estate sale was incredible. Furniture, china, jewelry, books. Everything. Grandma walked through with an expert eye. Touching pieces. Examining marks. Assessing value. I watched her. Fascinated. She stopped at a jewelry case. Pointed to a gold ring with a small ruby. This is from the 1880s. See the craftsmanship? The hand engraving? They don't make them like this anymore. It's beautiful. Should I buy it? How much? $80. Is that a good price? It's worth about $300. But value isn't just money. It's history. Story. Beauty. She bought it. Along with 2 other rings. And a set of vintage teacups. On the drive home, she told me the history of her collection. I started collecting when I was your age. My grandmother left me 3 rings. I've been adding to the collection ever since. Each ring has a story. I keep them all documented. Photographs. Provenance. Appraisals. Can I see your collection? Of course. Come by next Saturday. I'll show you everything. The next Saturday, I spent 3 hours at her house. Looking at every ring. Hearing every story. She had them organized in velvet-lined cases. Each ring labeled. Each with notes about origin, era, materials, value. This one is from 1820. Georgian era. Mourning ring. See the woven hair under the glass? That's from the deceased. People wore them to remember loved ones. That's so beautiful and sad. That's history. Real life. Real love. Real loss. I was mesmerized. From that day on, I went antiquing with Grandma every Saturday. For 15 years. We'd wake up early. 6 in the morning. Drive to estate sales all over South Carolina. Sometimes we'd find nothing. Sometimes we'd find treasures. She taught me everything. How to spot quality. How to negotiate. How to research. How to preserve. I helped her document the collection. Took photographs. Typed up descriptions. Created a catalog. By the time I was 25, I knew every ring in her collection. Could identify eras. Recognize styles. Estimate values. We were a team. Partners. Best friends. Brittany never came with us. Not once. Antiquing is boring, she'd say when Grandma invited her. I have plans. She was always too busy. Too social. Too everything to spend time with our grandmother. Our aunt, Brittany's mother, would make excuses. Brittany has cheer practice. Brittany has a date. Brittany has sorority events. Grandma would smile. Say she understood. But I could see the disappointment. She wanted a relationship with both granddaughters. But only one showed up. When I was 26 and Grandma was 82, her health started declining. Arthritis. Mobility issues. Memory problems. She couldn't drive anymore. Couldn't go antiquing. I visited twice a week instead of just Saturdays. Helped her with groceries. Took her to doctor appointments. Kept her company. We'd sit in her living room. Go through the ring collection together. Remember the stories. This one we found in Colombia. Remember? That rainy Saturday. The sale was in a barn. You spotted it in a drawer full of junk. I remember. You were so proud of me. I was. You have the eye. The instinct. Just like I do. She was telling me these things more often. Repeating stories. But I didn't mind. I cherished every moment. Brittany visited maybe twice a year. Christmas and Grandma's birthday. Stayed for an hour. Made polite conversation. Left. Never asked about the rings. Never showed interest in Grandma's passion. Never offered to help. When Grandma was 85, she updated her will. Called me to her house. Had her lawyer there. Charlotte, I'm updating my estate plans. I want you to know what I'm doing. Okay. I'm leaving you my ring collection. All 24 rings. Plus the documentation. The appraisals. Everything. Grandma, you don't have to. I want to. You're the one who cares about them. Who knows their stories? Who'll preserve them? They belong with you. What about Brittany? Brittany will inherit my china collection and some furniture. She'll be well provided for. But the rings are yours. I cried. Hugged her. Thank you. I'll take care of them. I promise. I know you will. That's why I'm giving them to you. 2 years later, when Grandma was 87, she passed away. Peacefully. In her sleep. I was devastated. Lost. She'd been my best friend. My mentor. My constant companion for 15 years. The funeral was large. She was well known in Charleston. Loved by many. Brittany was there. Crying. Telling everyone how much she'd miss Grandma. I wanted to scream. You barely visited her. You didn't know her. But I stayed silent. Grief isn't a competition. After the funeral, the will was read. Brittany and her mother, my Aunt Susan, were present. Along with my mother and me. The lawyer read through the bequests. To my granddaughter Brittany Foster, I leave my complete collection of Haviland china, the dining room furniture set, and the sum of $10,000. Brittany nodded. Satisfied. To my granddaughter Charlotte Hayes, I leave my complete collection of vintage rings, including all documentation and appraisals, and the sum of $5,000. Brittany's head snapped up. The ring collection? Yes. All 24 rings. That's not fair. The rings are worth way more than china and furniture. The lawyer looked at her calmly. Your grandmother's estate was hers to distribute as she saw fit. She was of sound mind when she made these decisions. But Charlotte already has money. I'm struggling. This isn't fair. My aunt spoke up. Can we contest this? The distribution seems unequal. You can contest if you believe there was undue influence or lack of capacity. But Mrs. Hayes updated this will 2 years ago with full legal counsel. She was very clear about her wishes. Brittany looked at me. Angry. You manipulated her. You spent all that time with her to get her stuff. I was shocked. Hurt. I spent time with her because I loved her. Because she was my grandmother. Sure. And you just happened to get the most valuable part of the estate. The rings have sentimental value to me. We collected them together. I know the story of every single one. I don't care about the stories. They're worth $150,000. And you're getting all of them while I get china plates. The china is also valuable. Haviland is collectible. And you're getting $10,000 in cash. Plus furniture. It's not the same. You're getting way more than me. My mother intervened. Brittany, your grandmother made her choice. Charlotte and Grandma had a special relationship around those rings. It makes sense she'd want Charlotte to have them. So I get punished for not being obsessed with old jewelry? You get what Grandma chose to leave you. Be grateful. Brittany stormed out. Her mother followed, apologizing to the lawyer. I sat there, holding the folder with the ring collection documentation. I'd just lost my grandmother. And now I had to deal with family drama over her estate. I took the rings home. 24 velvet-lined cases. Each one precious. Each one a memory. I set them up in a display case in my bedroom. Behind glass. Safe. Preserved. Every time I looked at them, I thought of Grandma. Our Saturdays together. Her lessons. Her stories. They weren't just jewelry. They were our relationship. Tangible proof of 15 years of love. Brittany didn't speak to me for months. Avoided me at family events. Made excuses to leave when I arrived. I tried to reach out once. Called her. Brittany, I'm sorry you're upset about the will. But these rings mean something to me beyond their monetary value. Easy to say when you're the one who got them. Would you like me to show you the collection? Explain the history of each piece? Maybe you'd understand. I don't want to see them. I just think it's unfair that you got so much more than me. Grandma left you beautiful things too. The china is worth maybe 20,000. You got 150,000 in rings. I got 15 years of memories. You could have had that too. Grandma invited you. Many times. I was busy. You were choosing other things over her. That's fine. But you can't be mad now that she chose to give her most precious collection to the person who showed up. She hung up. I let it go. Figured time would heal the resentment. 3 months after Grandma's death, Brittany got engaged. Her boyfriend Jake proposed. Big elaborate proposal. Posted all over social media. I congratulated her. Sent a card. Tried to be supportive. She posted constantly about wedding planning. Pinterest boards. Venue shopping. Dress hunting. Her theme, vintage elegance. Lots of lace. Antique details. Old Charleston charm. I should have seen what was coming. 2 months into her engagement, Brittany called me. Her tone was friendly. Too friendly. Fake. Charlotte. How are you? I'm fine. How's wedding planning? It's amazing. Everything is coming together. I'm so excited. Actually, that's why I'm calling. I have a huge favor to ask. Okay? So, my wedding theme is vintage. Very antique. Charleston historic vibes. And I'm giving each of my bridesmaids a special thank you gift. That's nice. I want to give them each a vintage ring. From Grandma's collection. My stomach dropped. What? I have 8 bridesmaids. I need 8 vintage rings. Grandma's collection is perfect. Different styles, different eras. Each girl gets a unique piece. It's so perfect for the theme. Brittany, those rings are mine. Grandma left them to me. I know. That's why I'm asking. I need you to give me 8 rings. For my bridesmaids. I'm not giving you 8 rings worth probably $60,000 or $70,000. They're just sitting in your house. You're not using them. You're not even engaged. I'm actually getting married. This is the perfect use for them. No. These rings were left to me. They're not wedding favors. They're not wedding favors. They're meaningful gifts. Grandma would love knowing they're being used for something special. Grandma left them to me because she wanted me to have them. Not to give them away. You're being selfish. You have 24 rings. I'm only asking for 8. You'd still have 16. The answer is no. Her voice got hard. Cold. You know what? I figured you'd say that. Because you've always been selfish. You manipulated Grandma to get those rings. And now you're hoarding them. I didn't manipulate anyone. I spent 15 years with her because I loved her. You spent 15 years sucking up to get her jewelry. That's not true. And even if it were, you had the same opportunity. You chose not to take it. I had a life. Friends. Activities. I wasn't going to waste my weekends at boring estate sales. Then you don't get the rings. Goodbye, Brittany. I hung up. My hands were shaking. I couldn't believe she'd asked. Actually expected me to hand over 8 rings. Over the next few weeks, the pressure campaign began. My Aunt Susan called. Charlotte, Brittany is very upset. Can't you spare a few rings for her wedding? No. They're mine. It would mean so much to her. She's getting married. This is a special time. She can buy her bridesmaids gifts with her own money. Vintage rings are expensive. She can't afford 8 of them. That's not my problem. You sound heartless. These are just things sitting in a case. She wants to actually use them. Grandma wanted me to have them. I'm keeping them. My own mother called. Charlotte, I'm getting pressure from Susan about these rings. Can you please just give Brittany a few? To keep the peace? Mom, Grandma left them to me. Would you ask me to give away anything else I inherited? This feels different. Brittany is getting married. You're not even dating anyone seriously. So I have to give away my inheritance because I'm single? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying she has an actual use for them right now. You're just keeping them in storage. I'm preserving them. Caring for them. Like Grandma wanted. Just think about it. Please. I thought about it. The answer was still no. Brittany posted on Facebook. A long, emotional post. Wedding planning has been bittersweet. My grandmother passed away this year. I miss her every day. I wanted to honor her memory at my wedding by having my bridesmaids wear vintage rings from her collection. But unfortunately, my cousin inherited all of Grandma's rings and refuses to share even a few for my special day. It hurts to know that someone would hoard jewelry they'll never use instead of letting them be part of a family celebration. But I guess that's how some people are. I'll find another way to honor Grandma. The post got hundreds of reactions and comments. I'm so sorry. That's terrible. Your cousin sounds selfish. Family should share. Especially for weddings. Some people defended me. The rings were left to her. She doesn't have to give them away. Inheritance is inheritance. Your cousin isn't obligated to fund your wedding. But most sided with Brittany. The bride-to-be. The sympathetic figure. I didn't respond. Didn't engage. Just blocked a few people who sent me nasty messages. My mother called again. Charlotte, that Facebook post. Everyone is talking about this. You look really bad. I don't care how I look. The rings are mine. Can't you just lend her a few? She'll give them back after the wedding. No. I don't trust her to return them. And even if she did, I don't want them used as party favors. You're being stubborn. I'm being protective of something Grandma entrusted to me. The wedding was set for June. 3 months away. Brittany stopped asking. Stopped calling. Stopped posting about it. I thought maybe she'd moved on. Found another solution. I was wrong. In May, I went out of town for a weekend. A work conference in Atlanta. Friday through Sunday. I have a house in Charleston. Small historic home. Built in 1920. Charming. Safe neighborhood. Or so I thought. Sunday evening, I came home from the airport. Unlocked my front door. Walked inside. Something felt wrong. My bedroom door was open. I always closed it. I walked in. My heart stopped. The display case where I kept the rings was open. Smashed. 3 of the velvet cases were gone. I knew immediately which ones. The 3 most valuable rings. An 1820 Georgian mourning ring. Estimated value, $25,000. An 1870 Victorian ruby cluster ring. Estimated value, $20,000. An 1890 Edwardian diamond and sapphire ring. Estimated value, $15,000. $60,000 worth of rings. Gone. I called the police immediately. 2 officers arrived. Took my statement. Examined the scene. Any signs of forced entry? I don't think so. Let me check. We walked through the house. Every door. Every window. All locked. No damage. Whoever did this had a key. My blood ran cold. I'd given a spare key to my mother years ago. For emergencies. I think I know who did this. Who? My cousin. She's been demanding I give her rings from this collection for her wedding. I refused. She has access to my mother's house. My mother has a spare key to my place. You think your cousin broke in and stole them? I think she took my mother's key. Let herself in. And took what I wouldn't give her. The officers took notes. Asked for Brittany's contact information. We'll follow up with her. In the meantime, document everything that's missing. Get us photos and descriptions. I had everything documented. Thanks to Grandma's meticulous record keeping. Photos of each ring. Descriptions. Appraisals. Provenance. I sent it all to the police. That night, I called my mother. Mom, where's your spare key to my house? In my key drawer. Why? Can you check? I heard her walking. Opening a drawer. Silence. It's not here. When did you last see it? I don't know. Months ago? Charlotte, what's going on? Someone broke into my house today. Stole 3 of Grandma's rings. The most valuable ones. Worth $60,000. Oh my God. Are you okay? I'm fine. But I think Brittany took your key. Let herself in. And stole the rings. Brittany wouldn't do that. She's been demanding those rings for months. I said no. Now they're gone. And your key is gone. It's pretty obvious. I can't believe she'd steal from you. Call her. Ask her. My mother called Brittany. I don't know what was said. But 20 minutes later, my phone rang. It was Brittany. How dare you accuse me of stealing? Did you take 3 rings from my house? No. I can't believe you'd think that. My mom's spare key is missing. The 3 most valuable rings are gone. You've been demanding I give you rings. You're the obvious suspect. I didn't take them. Maybe you misplaced them. They were in a locked case in my bedroom. Someone broke the case and took exactly 3 rings. The 3 worth the most money. Well, it wasn't me. Then you won't mind if the police come talk to you. She hung up. The next day, 2 detectives visited Brittany. Asked to see her house. Her car. She refused. Said she wanted a lawyer. That pretty much confirmed it for me. The detectives got a search warrant. Based on the missing key. The motive. The opportunity. They searched her house. Found all 3 rings. In her bedroom. In a jewelry box. She was arrested. Charged with burglary and grand larceny. $60,000 in stolen property. Felony charges. She claimed I'd given her the rings. That we'd agreed she could borrow them. I had texts proving otherwise. Messages where she'd asked for rings and I'd said no. Repeatedly. The evidence was overwhelming. My family imploded. My Aunt Susan blamed me. You didn't have to press charges. She made a mistake. She's getting married. You're ruining her life over jewelry. She committed a felony. She broke into my house and stole $60,000 worth of property. She's family. Family doesn't steal from each other. You could have just given her a few rings. None of this would have happened. So it's my fault she's a criminal? It's your fault you were selfish and pushed her to desperation. I hung up. Half the family sided with Brittany. Charlotte should have shared. It's just jewelry. Family is more important. The other half saw reality. Brittany stole. Breaking and entering is serious. Charlotte has every right to press charges. I didn't care about sides. I cared about justice. And getting my rings back. The rings were held as evidence. I couldn't get them back until after the trial. Brittany's lawyer tried to make a deal. Pleading down to a misdemeanor. Probation. No jail time. The prosecutor wouldn't budge without my agreement. Asked what I wanted. I want her convicted. I want restitution. I want my rings back. And I want her to admit what she did. Brittany wouldn't admit it. Maintained she'd been given permission. We went to trial. Small trial. Just a judge. No jury. I testified. Explained the inheritance. The requests I denied. The missing key. The stolen rings. Showed texts where Brittany had asked for the rings and I'd refused. Showed police reports about the break-in. Showed photos of the rings in Brittany's possession matching my documentation. Brittany testified. Claimed I'd changed my mind. Let her borrow them. Then falsely reported them stolen. The judge didn't believe her. Ms. Foster, the evidence clearly shows you stole these rings. The text messages show Ms. Hayes repeatedly refusing your requests. The timeline shows the rings disappeared while Ms. Hayes was out of town. Your possession of the stolen property is undeniable. Brittany was convicted. Burglary and grand larceny. Sentenced to 3 years probation. 500 hours community service. Restitution of $60,000. Banned from contact with me. Her wedding was postponed. Jake, her fiancé, left her. Called off the engagement. Apparently, being engaged to a convicted felon wasn't the future he'd envisioned. My aunt blamed me. You destroyed her life. She lost her fiancé. Her reputation. Her future. All because you wouldn't share some rings. She destroyed her own life when she decided to commit a felony. You're heartless. I'm someone who refused to be stolen from. That was 5 years ago. I'm 36 now. Brittany is 33. We haven't spoken since the trial. Probably never will. She's still on probation. Still paying off the restitution in installments. $50 a month. Will take her 100 years at that rate. But I have my rings back. All 24. safe, displayed, cherished. I think about Grandma often. What she'd think of all this. I think she'd be sad. About the family conflict. About Brittany's choices. But I think she'd be proud of me. For protecting what she entrusted to me. For standing up for myself. The family is still divided. Some people won't speak to me. Think I should have dropped the charges. Others support me completely. Understand that theft is theft. My mother is caught in the middle. Loves both of us. Wishes we could reconcile. But I have no interest in reconciling with someone who broke into my house and stole from me. Brittany posts occasionally on social media. Vague quotes about betrayal. Family loyalty. Forgiveness. Never taking responsibility. Always the victim. I don't engage. I've moved on. I'm dating someone now. A history professor at the College of Charleston. He appreciates antiques. Understands the value of preservation. He's seen the ring collection. Heard the stories. Respects what they mean. Maybe someday I'll be engaged. Maybe one of these rings will be my engagement ring. Maybe I'll pass the collection to my own children someday. Or maybe I'll donate them to a museum. Let them be preserved and appreciated by people who understand their historical value. Whatever I decide, it will be my choice. Because Grandma trusted me with them. Not Brittany. Who never visited. Who never cared. Who only wanted them when they became valuable to her. I earned these rings through 15 years of companionship. Of showing up. Of caring. Brittany tried to steal what she never earned. And she paid the price. Some people think I was too harsh. That family is more important than jewelry. But this wasn't about jewelry. This was about respect. Trust. Boundaries. Grandma chose to give me the rings because she knew I'd cherish them. Preserve them. Honor their history. She was right. And I'll protect that legacy. Even from family who doesn't understand. Have you ever inherited something precious that family members demanded you share? Have you ever been called selfish for keeping what was left to you? Have you ever had to press charges against a family member who stole from you? Share your experience in the comments. Sometimes the people who never showed up are the ones who feel most entitled to what you earned through showing up. If you believe that inheriting a ring collection through 15 years of companionship means you get to keep it, hit that like button and subscribe. Because earning someone's trust and being honored in their will is not something you should have to defend. And prosecuting theft isn't vindictive, it's justice.